Your vision will be tired and will be returned upon you. It will be fatigued and humiliated, but you will not see any flaw in the creation of Allah Almighty. So all the things created by Allah Almighty, they are wonderful, and especially the human beings, they are created in the best of the structure and posture, and they are gifted with the ability of the higher cognitive abilities. They are given to the human being. He is gifted with this quality of thinking, to reflect. So only the human beings are gifted with these higher cognitive abilities. So the human beings, they are created in the best of the structure and posture, and they are being honored by Allah Almighty, the human beings. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran that وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah Almighty says that indeed we have honored the children of Adam. The man is created in best of structure and posture, and also is gifted with higher cognitive abilities and is being honored by Allah Almighty. As we recited the verse from the Holy Quran, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah Almighty says that indeed we have honored the children of Adam. So among all the creatures, among all the living things on the face of earth, human being is given a respect. He is being honored by Allah Almighty, and he is being gifted with this, higher cognitive abilities. There are animals like elephants and other animals. They are having brains more, so many times more in weight as compared with the human being, but they are still elephants. They are not the human beings. They have no higher cognitive abilities. They are animals. And the apes, the chimpanzees, all of these, they are, after all of them are animals. And many of the animals, they are having bigger brains than the human beings, but they do not. They have the brain having the neurons and cell structure and chemistry like this, but they are not gifted the higher cognitive abilities. This is the man only which is gifted this higher cognitive abilities. And the elephants are having brains about 5 to 6 times heavier in weight as compared to the human brain, but they are still elephants. They are still animals. There are other animals with big brains, but they are still animals. So he is being honored, he is being given respect, he is being given a wonderful structure and function and posture. And but if he is going to avail all this, which is gifted to him, if he is going to avail this respect, if he is following the people who are sent by Allah Almighty to convey you the message, to realize you about your status on the earth, that for which purpose you are created, and what should be your status, and what should you do in this worldly life. And now it is upon the human beings. If they use the brain, if they think and they follow the prophets and they follow the revelations from Allah Almighty, they will be respected, they will be rewarded, Otherwise, they should be ready to face the consequences. So, the creation, the wonderful things Allah Almighty has created, this so much big universe, so much balance in this universe, and all the other creatures on the earth and in the oceans, and especially the human beings, the structure, function, and chemistry of the human body and others, and the higher cognitive abilities of the human beings, all these things, these are the things which were more than enough to conclude about the creator, the cherisher, the sustainer, the designer of this universe. The atheists, unfortunately, they are denying God on the basis of the same things. They are discussing the astronomy, they are discussing the human physiology, they are discussing the different things of geology and oceanology, and on the basis of these things, they end the story on God denial. Richard Dawkins, if you go through his book and if you watch his documentaries of the Richard Dawkins, he is discussing the genetics, the wonderful genetics which compel you to think that how can all this sophisticated human genome with this much abundant information, with this much sophisticated arrangement of these four bases, which is describing more than 20,000 proteins of your body, the hormones, the structure, the function, the eyes, the ear, and all that stuff. How can all this be? How can this be a mere result of winds and storms and haphazard phenomena and random things? How can all this be randomly? So, on the basis of these things, you are astonished uh, that there appears a wisdom behind this vast universe, behind this highly tuned universe. There is an intelligent being. All this cannot be by chance. All this cannot be random and haphazard phenomena. So, Richard Dawkins and others, they are denying God on the basis of the same things. He will be discussing the human genetics and he will be ending the story on God denial. He will be discussing the human structure and he will be ending the story on God denial. He will be discussing the astronomy, the galaxies, the diversity, the complexity of the universe, and he will be ending the story on God denial. So this is so strange approach, and this is so ridiculous approach to things, and so this is so unfortunate. And Richard Dawkins very proudly points towards the apes, that chimpanzees and monkeys, that these are our first cousins. He says that these are our first cousins. So proudly he says. So the atheists, they claim to be, they claim themselves to be very logical, and the atheists claim themselves to be very scientific and very logical in approach to the life and things. But I say that they are far away from logic and they are more away from good luck. So, this is a big tragedy with the humanity of today. The humans are facing the tragedy of humanity. The humanity is facing the crisis of humanity. You know, a few days back, a Japanese man converted himself into a dog. And there are also many other news like these throughout the world. These unnatural desires, these unnatural thinking developed in the human beings, going towards the dogs, going towards the animals, pointing towards the apes, and claiming the apes to be they are being derived from apes and animals and chimpanzees and all this restlessness. So the humanity of today is in a need of lesson of humanity, and they are in need of to be taught the lesson of humanity once again. So there is this is a state of universal agitation and restlessness. The people, the humans of today, the way they are behaving, they are unsatisfied. Their souls are unsatisfied in the cloak of humanity. Their souls are unsatisfied with humanity. They are converting themselves into animals. They are referring themselves to the apes and chimpanzees and animals. So all this. We have written a book on this topic. An ultimate solution to the Dawkins illusions. We have divided this as a small book of less than 100 pages, and we have discussed the things briefly. All these topics could be extended to increase the volume of the book, but there is no need. We have written all these briefly, and so we have discussed these things briefly, and they will be inshallah beneficial. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.